The calendar has switched to October, where the most important soccer games in Nassau County are played. And this afternoon, it's a Nassau A3 showdown between the Dragons of Division High School and the Bellmore JFK Cougars. Today's broadcast is sponsored by Drobin Chiropractic and Wellness. When you're in pain, you need relief fast from people you can trust. Drobin Chiropractic and Wellness has been helping people just like you find relief since 1980. Our experienced North Bellmore chiropractors have most likely seen your condition before and are determined to find the answers you need. In addition to adjustment treatments, also include massage therapy, acupuncture, vitamin supplement use, and many more holistic options. Visit us at drobinchiropractic.com or call 516-379-8500 to make a consultation today. Well, a pleasant good afternoon alongside Brian Donahue, Dylan Butler here for what should be an exciting contest here in Nassau AA3. And Brian, when we look at a matchup like this, right, it's teams that, you know, you're in the second half of your regular season. You've seen everybody already in your conference, and now you make adjustments. And interestingly enough, both teams not satisfied with what happened in the first matchup.
No, not at all. And, you know, when we look at Bellmore, JFK, and Division, you know, we said before the season, this is going to be the most difficult conference in all of Nassau County. And I think these two teams are seeing that. Right, and after this first game, and like you said, Dylan, heading into the second half of the season, now we are battling for that last playoff spot, and you're going to see that battle out here on the field today.
Yeah, it's a conference that has perennial powerhouses and really county contenders, Long Island championship contenders in Garden City and Manhasset and Southside. So these two teams are trying to figure out their place among those juggernauts. And in the first matchup, it was a 1-0 win for Division. They score an early goal, but they weren't satisfied with it. They said that Bellmore JFK was the better team for most of that match. Bellmore JFK is like, yeah, we were, but we couldn't find the back of the net. So that's what we're facing here today. Division, Brian, they got off to a red-hot start. Won their first three matches, and then that buzzsaw that we just mentioned, Garden City, Manhasset, Southside, the schedule makers did them no favors. Compounding that, injuries as well. So a lot of different factors right now for a Division team trying to turn things around.
Yeah, and, you know, I went and saw Division play earlier this season. They took out Roslyn, and, you know, they know how to put in a lot of goals. They also know how to close out a game, right? So if Bellmore JFK can keep the ball out of the back of the net, they can hold off this Division attack, I think they're going to be okay, but it's going to be a nice contest going back and forth today.
We look at our impact players for Division High School, and there you see two guys who will be influential should the Dragons make it consecutive regular season wins over Bellmore JFK.
Right, and Chris DeSpasorio, he is their playmaker in the middle of the field. He's the guy that they want to get that ball to make things happen, right? And if he can't get the ball, they're going to look to find him to make those runs in behind that back line of Bellmore JFK.
So Division coming in with a 3-6 record in Nassau AA3. Bellmore JFK, they're 2-6-1, the Cougars, but incredibly young. When you look up and down their starting 11, you see a lot of sophomores. You see freshmen. So listen, they're certainly playing for now, but the future is very, very bright.
It absolutely is. And, you know, I know Coach Bisk very well. He's one of the best coaches in all of Nassau County. He knows how to get a team prepared and how to get this team where they need to be. So, you know, they graduated 3 incredibly talented players last year. They're picking things up, but they have a great goalkeeper in Gavin Herzog. They have some incredible talent in the middle of the field, especially, you know, look at their forward, Zach Torres. He's going to do some damage up there if he can get some good service today.
Let's meet the impact players for the Cougars this afternoon. And these are two guys, one in the middle of the park, the other defensive side that will also likely play a large role for Bellmore JFK today.
Absolutely, and I'm looking for Patrick Kimmel, that senior center back. He's going to eat every ball that comes through the middle of that field. And I'm looking for Charlie Sivan in the middle of that field. get that ball distributed out, right? As they come out in a 4-5-1, they're going to have a big midfield presence. And if Charlie Sivan can distribute that ball well, find the feet of Zach Torres, I think they can do well to improve upon their goals for, goals against differential.
Let's meet our starters for today's contest. The starting lineups brought to you by Massapequa Soccer Shop, located in Park Plaza Professional Suites in Massapequa Park, or online at massapequasoccer.com. Visit the Massapequa Soccer Shop for all of your soccer needs. First off, for Division, a little bit of a makeshift starting 11. They'll come out in a 4-4-2, but a lot of different changes because of injuries. So guys maybe playing out of position, but as you mentioned, a really quality front two. And that's one thing that I think Division will look to exploit with Chris O'Neill and Joe Drescher.
Absolutely, and a couple other names you're going to hear us say today is Dan Quiros, that's center back for them. Certainly Chris O'Neill. Chris Dominguez is another great player for them. You're going to hear them a lot today.
And in goal for Division, what a time to get your first start. We'll detail this more as we go along, but Dylan Lang is the goalie du jour. He is not a regular keeper, but listen, man, full credit to Dylan Lang stepping up in a position of need for Division, and he'll be between the sticks this afternoon for Division. We'll meet the starters for Bellmore JFK now. They're also brought to you by Massapequa Soccer Shop, and we saw the 4-4-2 for Division. This is a 4-2-3-1 for Bellmore JFK, and you mentioned some talented players. Certainly Zach Torres, a really good sophomore, and again, a lot of young guys all throughout this lineup.
Right, and so when we look at the Bellmore JFK Cougars as they're playing it, they're going to want to play out of the back, get it wide to their midfielders, and they want to get in service to Torres, who's going to lay that ball off to guys making runs up those channels.
And the keeper for Bellmore JFK, one of the better in Nassau County. 2-year starter, Gavin Herzog. You see his numbers on this season. Don't be surprised if after this match, Gavin's heading off to a club practice. This is what he does 7 days a week.
Yeah, Gavin Herzog is, like you said, Dylan, he's one of the better keepers in Nassau County. He will be winning some hardware, if not this season, in his next 2 seasons before he graduates.
So we kick off, and we will at some point show you our keys to the game. Our referees for today's game are Pete Shank and Lenny DiGregorio. It is Division in white, looking to possess the ball. And because of Bellmore JFK's shape, Division maybe can't go as direct as maybe they would prefer.
Yeah, and you know, I have to wonder, you know, my son has played lacrosse on this field many times. I wonder how much the sun is going to be a factor here. Certainly these Bellmore JFK guys are used to it. How much is it going to be a factor for Division? You know, this sun is beating right into our eyeballs.
Yeah.
You know, certainly Bellmore is going to be playing into that as a factor. You know, we'll see how much Division can compensate for that as we go through the beginning parts of this first half.
It's going to play a factor for us as well, even trying to ID those Bellmore JFK numbers. They're not with the sun and the numbers. We will certainly try our best, but Division looking to possess early on. As we mentioned in that first matchup, Division winning that one 1-0, a goal scored inside the first 5 minutes. Bellmore JFK had numerous opportunities to level or even take a lead, and they weren't able to. And that was one of the keys, certainly, for Bellmore JFK. When they've lost matches, Brian, it's because they've conceded early. So they want to make sure that they don't do that here this afternoon. Yeah,
and, you know, it's 10 goals for, 27 against on this season, right? So this is a game where hopefully they can improve upon that average. You know, they're coming in with 3 straight losses, and like you said, Dylan, those buzzsaws of Southside and Garden City, and then they had that tough Hewlett matchup.
And there's Lang coming off his line well to grab that ball. So the regular starting keeper for Division, he broke his hand just a few games ago. So that was Chris Castora. Then Shane Villaum was the backup, and unfortunately he was unable to be here for this match and likely will miss the next match with a sick grandparent. We certainly wish Shane's family the best. So it was time to circle the wagons a little bit at Division and try to figure out, hey, who wants to step in net as an inexperienced goalkeeper? And that's what Lang is doing this afternoon.
Yeah, and it's certainly going to be a trial by fire. And, a lot of these balls, these kids have been playing soccer for a long time, and they can deal with, I would say, probably 60% of this. But is he going to be able to pick up on a lot of these technical things that these keepers can do, like playing the ball back, switching the field? It'll be interesting to see how he handles that going forward.
And we'll see how much Bellmore JFK maybe tests him, right? Like maybe playing balls in between spaces and test whether he comes off his line or stays on.
If I'm Coach Bisk, and if I was coaching this game, I would tell my guys, listen, guys, I want shots. I want 30 yards out, 35 yards out, I don't care. Just test that keeper and get those balls in and just play service. Make him move. Try and get him off of his line.
Early goings here, and it's 0-0. But an opportunity now for Bellmore JFK. And good recovery defensively for Division. And that's going to be one of the keys, especially in front of an inexperienced goalie. That was Dylan DuPont, number 21, the left back, making that defensive play.
Right, and I think right there in that play, the forward Zach Torres, he had a nice chip. It found his feet after the chip, but now he's playing 1-on-4, and he had no help.
Bisk told us in the lead up to this match, ideally he wants to get quick 1 and 2 touches, maybe switch the field and play some soccer, put the ball down on the field. And he believed in this matchup his team would be able to do just that. As it goes back to Herzog, we'll take a settling touch and play it up the middle. Good ball down the far sideline. Again, defending DuPont's. Cross to the top of the 18, knocked away momentarily. And again, Bellmore JFK, the Cougars, they look to possess. This has been what they've done for a lot of the season. It's getting the ball into the 18 and finishing their chances. That's been a struggle for them.
Yeah, speaking to Coach Bisk pregame, he told me that they want to control possession, move fast, and that's going to be what they're going to be their key to their game this season. Today.
Cougars offside. You can see the starters across that scroll on the bottom of your screen. Now some numbers for Bellmore JFK on this left side. Seven dispossessed. 50-50 ball, and ball just sent out towards midfield to go out for a Division throw.
Division is giving Bellmore plenty of space there in that final third. They just have to settle themselves down and just be calm, right? Don't rush those plays. Don't rush their passes.
That was Chris O'Neill, 19, getting it ahead. Ball goes back. Herzog can't play with his hands, so he's got to play with his feet, but he's got really good feet. So they'll utilize him as kind of an extra defender at times. Nice touch by Sivan, and now here comes the Cougars. Ball to the right side. Lang initially came off his line, went back in front of goal. And now Division looking to chip the ball out. That was Dan Kirosh you just mentioned, big center back. And
That's
look at this
great
through
ball up the middle.
An opportunity for Division, left-footed shot and a goal!
Great finish.
O'Neill! And Division, seemingly out of nowhere, takes the 1-0 lead. Rinse and repeat for the Dragons. This goal coming in the 9th minute.
That was a great ball up the middle here. Let's see who sends it in. And they had their 3 frontline attackers going against that back 4 of Bellmore JFK. And that's a great through ball, finding the feet of O'Neill. He takes a little controlling touch, runs with it, using the left to finish it across back post. Great finish. Nice composure from Chris O'Neill. That's experience right there.
Officially the 7th minute, and what a story Chris O'Neill is. 6th goal of the season. Missed all of his junior year with an ACL injury, and this is a kid who, as a freshman, scored 4 goals. He scored 9 as a sophomore, and then missed his entire junior season, making up for lost time now with his 6th goal of the campaign.
Yeah, and now they got Bellmore JFK playing on their back foot here. Keep the pressure on, keep those balls moving.
And for Ari Besk, he's probably like, I've seen this. This is a bad version of Groundhog's Day for us. Because it was, I think, a 5th-minute goal in the first matchup. And now a 7th-minute goal against Division.
And I can tell you from having been a coach and seeing my players in similar positions like this, mathematically JFK is still in the playoff hunt. But every minute of this game that goes by that they're down, they're going to get tight and they're going to press more, knowing that their playoff hopes are just slipping away.
And that first matchup on September 11th at Division, it was Matt Ramirez scoring the goal. The assist, Chris O'Neill. So playing a large role, great touch.
That was a great
opportunity in the box, and there's the equalizer. Charlie Sivan. And we are tied at 1.
That was a great piece of individual skill. A little cutback move on the right foot, bringing it back inside. Nice finish.
There's that cutback you mentioned. Settling touch. Lang does his best there, but
right, and there's that inexperience as a goalkeeper. He doesn't cut off the angle there, and he doesn't come off his line very well, evening it up.
A huge goal for Bellmore JFK, and as you mentioned, look, this is a young team, right? And they've seen this recurring nightmare way too often of conceding early. And to get the response just 2 minutes after conceding another early goal has got to be huge for their confidence.
Absolutely. Teams play on confidence. And, when you look at Bellmore JFK, like I said, they have 3 straight losses coming into this game. If they can do some really good things on this field and now start building in that confidence, the world is theirs, especially in this game, when Division's coming off of 5 straight losses.
Good combination play now for the Cougars as, again, they get themselves into the attacking third. This one comes out. It'll be a corner, the first corner of the game for Bellmore JFK. And they're a team that doesn't have a lot of height in particularly. So don't be surprised if we see maybe a Caleb Rojas here taking a short corner.
Now, if I'm Coach Bisk, I'm screaming, have somebody stand on the keeper.
Yes.
The keeper, he's not been in these situations too much. Who knows how much they worked on this in practice. Put somebody right on him.
Again, look out for 6. And there is that short corner. Whoa, the first time finish! Straight off the training grounds.
That was pretty.
Well done by Patrick Himmel. Our impact player's making a huge impact.
I saw him run into the box, and at first I thought they were going to play it up to him, but you know what? He found that near post, and he found his space. There's that little flick in. What a great job. And whoever was covering that near post for Division kind of caught him sleeping a little bit.
Himmel's like, I'm a center forward. Never mind a center back. He finished that shot perfectly.
I have a feeling I'm going to be getting sent that video later tonight for one of our Goal of the Week submissions on Nassau Soccer Instagram page. That is definitely a worthy submission.
Yeah, I think extra credit goes because he is a center back, and so far today for Bellmore JFK, 2 guys scoring their first goals of the year. Both are impact players. And in fact, if you add O'Neill in for Division, that's 3 of the 4 impact players. So no pressure now, Chris Desposario. You're on the clock. Now Division looking to possess. And there he is on cue. Double team, though, and the ball taken away. Let's see how quickly Bellmore JFK can hit the counter. Like the decision, because, again, you now force Lang into a decision.
And
he did it out.
He did a really good job coming off his line there, Dylan. That was a great piece of decision-making from him.
Ball to the edge of the 18. That shot blocked. Division, they score a lot of their goals on quick counters. So they'll absorb the pressure as they are doing now and then try to get their speedy forwards like O'Neal the ball as fast as they can.
Yeah, and talking to their coaches before the game, they said that was what was going to be the key to their game today, is just sit back, absorb pressure, and play that counter.
There's Himmel. Good ball out of the back. Just trying to put it into a space. It's one, and that shot turning and fired over the bar. He mentions the head coaches for Division. On the visiting side, that's Brian Maloney, 23rd season at the helm for Division, a 1995 graduate of Farmingdale High School. Has had to get the puzzle pieces going with all the injuries that they have had, as now Himmel plays it back to Herzog. Some token pressure for Herzog, gets it out to the right side.
Yeah, it's easy to coach your way through a good season. But you know what? When you have those rough seasons, when you're doing, like you said, puzzle pieces, they really test you as a coach. But you know what? It's the message is next man up. And it looks like Division is responding very well to that.
Yeah, they are, even though some guys, there's another shot in Lang. Well done, your first varsity save. And while some guys are out of position for Division today because of injury, there is experience. There's more experience on Division than there is on Bellmore JFK, as they've got more juniors and seniors out there.
Yeah, and when you have someone who is a field leader in general, like Chris O'Neal on the field, he's gonna eventually start taking control of this game and taking over and just leading that team. They'll be okay.
Himmel takes a touch, goes to the near sideline. That's Brandon Tepper, 14, just a freshman. Looking to play a 1-2 at the edge of the 18. That ball knocked away. But again, possession stays with the Cougars. Nice overlapping run. There's a cross into the box. A safe clearance, and this one goes well out to midfield. Himmel steps up to keep the possession alive, and that one is an ambitious effort that goes well over the bar.
Ambitious is a great word for it, but, honestly, that was a great 1-2 combination play and a nice cross into the box. There was just no one there to finish it.
Bellmore JFK head coach, there he is, Ari Bisk, 10th season, a 2005 graduate of Valley Stream North, where he dabbled a little bit in the center of the park back in his day.
Yeah, he's a great soccer player in his own right. I was playing in an over 40 soccer league with him a little bit. He can play. He knows what he's doing. I'm sure he runs circles around his team.
Do you have the scouting report, favors his
you know what? He actually does pretty well with both feet. I can honestly say he busted me up a few times when we were playing.
All right. There's an effort that, listen, even if you're not going to get it on frame, maybe you make Herzog think a little bit. Desposario with that shot.
I don't hate the shot at all. I like the idea. Just give it a rip.
Now we see Division numbers high, so maybe trying to win this ball out. Also, ideally, they'd love to see that ball up in the air because they're pretty confident with their ability to win those aerial duels. Good ball to feet. And then another effort wide. So I think your words have made their way to the Bellmore bench because we're seeing shots from all over. Just, again, trying to test an inexperienced keeper in Dylan Lang.
Yeah, and with that ball coming up the middle, if he just takes a touch to the middle, you got the center back is playing and he's turned the wrong way. You take a touch to the middle and you can try and burn him on the back. You get another extra couple of steps on him and you have a better chance of a quality shot.
What a great play by Himmel. You never want to be a center back facing your own goalie, but there heads it safely back to Herzog.
I'm really liking the way Bellmore JFK is moving the ball here.
Tepper, the cross, the shot just wide of the frame.
They're moving the ball so well. The quality is there. And, I've said this before, and I'm going to say it again. Every time I do a youth clinic, if you can master a 10-yard pass, both passing and receiving, you can be one of the best players in Nassau County. And it looks like these Cougars they do that. Their passes are nice and crisp, and they're finding feet. There's another great through ball.
And that was O'Neill.
Everybody's off. But that's their game plan, right? Send those through balls right up the middle. Try and get those one-on-ones or those breakaways.
Yeah, you've got the speed of O'Neill, the size of Drescher, the good combination for your two forwards for division. Here's Himmel. And, he's a guy who, and we could tell with that touch, would prefer to be in the midfield. That's a great through ball. An opportunity again for Bellmore. Settling touch, and look at Lang off his line.
That's a great save.
Now he's in no man's land. Ball headed over the bar.
He's gonna watch his huddle tape of that tomorrow, and he's gonna kick himself for that one. Control on the chest and finish. Right, he's got the keeper wildly out of position. He's just finished right there. He's got to run on that ball and finish. He sees that keeper coming out. He's got to take that finish there instead of playing with it. And then on the second ball here, right here, just control with the chest and just fire that ball in, right? I think he tried to get a little too cute with it with the head. He's going to kick himself on that one tomorrow when he watches that game film.
Or perhaps tonight when he gets home, watches it on Varsity Media.
Or tonight when he watches it on Varsity Media. Correct.
Good interception, and now this is where division is so dangerous on the quick counter. They've got numbers, but it's taken away. The point I was going to mention before that scoring opportunity is that Himmel, he's a midfielder, but because of his size and the lack thereof for other players on Bellmore JFK, he's got to play center back.
Oh, there's a bad giveaway from Herzog. But you know what? Sometimes, you play a guy like Himmel in center back, and he's got that midfielder mentality, and that it's that good mind for distribution of the ball out of the back. I don't hate it, and he's doing great with it. His distribution is really, really good tonight. And also, I would even say, listen, guys, let him go free roamer, and if he wants to go crash up the field, let him. Someone cover a spot, and I wouldn't be surprised if we see him dribble through division later.
Ball in the midfield won by the Dragons. 50-50 gets stuck in. And there's our first foul of the contest. That's Bizarrio. As you see here, some physicality in midfield. 50-50 battles.
Yep, it's winning those and going confidently into those 50-50s. But that one, there was very little attempt on the ball. He came in from behind a little bit late. That's a quick and easy foul.
Now it's Himmel. Getting it to the top of the 18 or toward the top of the 18.
That's a nice touch to O'Neill.
Yeah, it's O'Neill now. And that one clipped over the bar.
That was a great little combination there. Flick onto O'Neill, a little touch to control, and then that through ball around the back of the defense, and he had a runner right there. Again, I'm super impressed by both teams' combination play tonight.
Division just a little further up in the table. They're 3-6 on the season. Bellmore JFK 2-6-1. And it's interesting because you see such a difference. You kind of go top 3, and even there you kind of go top 2, and then down the south side with Garden City and Manhasset both getting results against Southside, but then Southside getting results against everybody else.
Yeah, and this AB3, you know, they have not the AB3, the AA3, you know, they have the top 4 seeds from last year's playoffs in Garden City, Southside, Manhasset, and Bellmore JFK. So, like I said, this was the most difficult conference in all of Nassau County leading into this season. And then you've got, like you said, Hewlett's playing really well. You know, this is a really tough conference this year.
Ball to the center of the park.
I think Saturday's showdown between Garden City and Manhasset is going to be just a real telling game.
Well, and round 2, we'll have it on Varsity Media from Manhasset High School. And what a battle that was last year. One of the best playoff games that I've seen, certainly, over at Farmingdale State. Went to overtime, and it was Manhasset ending what would have been a perfect season for Garden City, handing the Trojans their first loss on that overtime goal by Feldman.
Yeah, I mean, they were nationally ranked. I think they're nationally ranked again. You know, they're both looking at undefeated seasons right now. I was there that night, too. It was an incredible game. But here we have an incredible game, too. You know, both of these teams are moving the ball well. Nice defense in the middle of the field. Just if they improve the quality just a little bit, we're going to have someone poke another one through here.
Ball won initially by Division in the midfield. That was Aiden Salazar, the right back. But again, possession, at least initially, going to Bellmore before Lang shepherded that ball out of play. He'll take it quickly. And you got to say that at least, right? I mean, you know that he's a field player, so he's good with his feet. That we know already.
Yes. Now we just got to hope he doesn't go rogue and just dribble the ball 30 yards up the field.
I know I'm dating myself here, but kind of going back to Rene Higuita for Colombia in the 1990 World Cup against Cameroon. Did just that, got burned, and then Cameroon got the win. There's a good look at Aiden Salazar. Good option playing out of the back for Division. Makes the simple, nice passes to the midfield or through balls. Well-rounded player for these Dragons.
Now, Dylan, if one of these guys pulls off a Rene Higuita
the
scorpion kick save, I'll buy you dinner tonight.
All right.
Your choice of restaurants.
Well, also, I suspect on the Instagram page that would be automatically the save of the year.
Oh, my God, yeah, absolutely. That'd be automatic winner.
Like the polls are closed. We project our winner.
Yeah, the brackets are just a formality at that point.
There's Herzog, rolls it out to his right. And Himmel, also very comfortable with his feet. Well, took a slight deflection, and now Bellmore, JFK looks to play it up. 26th minute, they've got a 2-1 lead. Division opened the scoring in the 7th minute through Chris O'Neill. And then 2 minutes later, Charlie Sivan leveled. And then 2 minutes after that, Patrick Himmel gave the Cougars a 2-1 lead.
Yeah, we got a little height coming in here on the substitution for this corner kick.
Yeah, second corner. We know what happened on Bellmore JFK's first corner. So locate Himmel, because it was his first time finish off of that short corner. And you see also Division recognizing, right? They played it short, so let's get our numbers up over here. This time it's played long, but the officials halt it.
Yeah, they weren't ready. The subs were still coming off the field, so referee Schenk is going to make them do it again.
This one curled into the box. The second header cleared momentarily. And here comes O'Neal. Lost possession.
Now, somebody getting on the end of this cross.
It's a short one. The ball deflects, and that's smart defending there. Just when in doubt, boot it out.
Yeah, I think it's twofold there. Number one, it's smart defending. Number two, it's just a lack of communication. You know, there was nobody within 10 yards of him, and his defense kind of let him down here. Just say, hey, listen, you got time.
You see some of our upcoming broadcasts under the lights at Oceanside, Syosset and Oceanside, followed by Sewanaka Cary, and that's the one we mentioned before, right? Garden City at Manhasset on October 17th. I'll be on the call of the first and third of those.
And that Syosset Oceanside game is going to be a big game for Oceanside. They're fighting for a playoff spot right now. They're going to need that game, I think, coming down the end of the season.
Himmel first touch, and you mentioned size. That's Alex Serrata, the center midfielder. How about this? A guy that wants to do everything for the team. Last year got hurt, right? So he wanted to stay involved, became the team's manager.
I love that.
He didn't want to just hang out. He wanted to contribute in any way that he could.
I love that. When you see too many times you see kids who get injured and they just disappear from the team. I love it when these guys just stick around. They be the manager. They keep the book. They be a vocal presence on the bench. That's called leadership.
And obviously in the center of the park, Serrata, and he is a senior this year for Bellmore JFK, is a bigger center midfielder, so maybe lacking some mobility, but has that good touch on the ball, can hit those 1-2s. And there you see Division looking to go long. Opportunity, at least momentarily there, for Drescher.
You know, he reminds me a little bit of Justin Woodbine from Garden City. He's another big boy in the middle of the field who can control everything.
Yeah, Woodbine, maybe one of the most diverse players in high school soccer around these parts. Was a center back last year, plays in the middle of the park, has the ability to get forward, can be an attacking mid, a defensive mid. And you know what? You need a goal late, throw him up top.
Absolutely. He's absolutely on my list of most underrated players in Nassau County right now. Oh, that's a good ball.
And a little, maybe too casual there. I think the opportunity was there to clear the ball. Instead or at least up the field. Instead it'll go out for a Bellmore JFK throw.
And I think JFK lost a golden opportunity there, right? If they would have taken that throw a little bit quicker, they had numbers. They had 4 guys that were unmarked. They throw that ball in a little bit faster, they maybe have something cooking.
One thing, too, that we have seen, or at least we can tell leading in, Bellmore JFK, and no doubt injuries are a part of this, but a deeper squad. They'll go. Ari Bisk is pretty confident going straight down his line using multiple players, whereas the Vision, really unfortunately for them, because of the injuries, don't have that luxury to utilize too many subs.
Yeah, and you're right. I think luxury is the appropriate word. You know, if you can go and tell your team, listen, I need you to give me 10, 12 minutes of just nonstop and just go hard for those 10 or 12 minutes and we're going to sub you off. That's a great problem to have.
Here's a look at the AA3 standings. And as you mentioned, right, a battle there at the very top between Garden City, Manhasset, Southside just behind. And there's Hewlett Division, Bellmore JFK.
Yeah, so it's the top 4 teams will get in and any team over 500 in the record. So right now, Division and Bellmore JFK looking out, on the outside looking in. So they have some work to do if they want to creep up and try and catch Hewlett.
Good job stepping up to take that ball away. Aiden Salazar to do so. was Chris Dominguez, number 1. Looking for a teammate. Now he tracks the ball back. Last year played at West Babylon, new to the district. There's a through ball. Lang, no problem. Plays it with his feet, keeps it there. O'Neal looks to combine with Dominguez. And I know this is a soccer cliche, but this next goal is critical in this one, isn't it?
Absolutely, it is. You know, you're either going to level or you're going to go 2 up. So, you know, 2 up can be down. Oh, that's a great run by O'Neal.
Here he is. O'Neal fires the equalizer.
Oh, what a finish.
Wow.
Dylan, you saw it coming, and you know what? There's O'Neal with his second of the game, and he saw that run. Great vision from him, seeing that exposed flank of JFK, and you know, there's a 45-yard dead sprint run from him. Great job to, you know, you see how he took a couple of those little baby steps running onto that ball. He knew that's a one-time finish. He's not taking a touch on that.
33rd minute, and O'Neal levels it. His second of this first half, 7th of the year. Game on.
I mean, that was impressive. 45-yard dead sprint to get on that ball, and he's not done.
Apparently he likes being on varsity media.
He's one of the fan favorites on our Instagram page. He's one of my favorite guys. He contributes a lot of content.
Now Bellmore JFK, for all the possession that they've had, for all the opportunities that they've had, it's back to being level.
And, you know, we have to give credit to the assist on that, too. I mean, that was a great through ball. Couldn't have asked for a better ball on that play.
Battle by the corner flag. It will go out for a goal kick. And this is why Brian Stiles make fights, right? Because Bellmore JFK, they want to possess the ball. And Division, they're like, fine, we'll absorb the pressure. We'll hit you on the counter. So 2 different styles making for an entertaining first half.
Absolutely. And, you know, soccer is a game of adjustments, and the only time you really get to make big adjustments is at halftime. You know, we don't get the luxury of timeouts. There's no innings. So Coach Bisk is going to have to make some adjustments here to this pressure. And Division, the same thing. You know, they're not doing anything horrible here. They, you know, they're really sticking to their game plan. They're absorbing and they're countering. I think it's really going to be on Bellmore JFK to make these adjustments to shut down this counterattack.
6 consecutive defeats for Division after opening the season with wins against Roslyn, Elmont, and these Cougars of Bellmore JFK. So they were feeling pretty good about themselves. They go out to Darcy Field, and they lose 7-0 to Southside, followed by 8-0 to Garden City, followed by 7-0 to Manhasset. I don't know who does the scheduling, but they are not apparently fans of Division High School.
No, that is probably the roughest 3-game stretch you could ask for.
And again, right in the midst of that came some injuries to some key guys.
Another great run from O'Neal.
Here's O'Neal against Himmel. O'Neal, just wide.
That was a great battle right there. So O'Neal saw that ball coming the whole way. He had another great run. He felt the pressure of Himmel, right? And watch how he holds off that center back right here, using his body to hold him off, arm up, holding him off, feels that pressure of that leg coming in, and he does a really good job. He just couldn't turn his hips enough to get that ball all the way around. But really great job out of Chris O'Neal.
Yeah, if you cut it back, now you're going right into the center back, so use him as a shield. 36th minute, 2-2 the score.
And, I like that these guys are both playing a real clean game. The referees have kept the whistle in the pocket. It's been nice, clean, nice transitions, not too physical.
We've literally had one foul in the midfield to this point. And for two teams, right, desperate to turn things around in the second half of the season, sometimes you see a little bit more chippy play, but you're right. Cruz Alejandro, number 20 for division, looking for that ball. Now a chance for Bellmore JFK outside of the foot cross. It rolls across the box and out.
That was a decent cross, and this is, we joke around about this all the time. Coaches from U8 all the way up scream back post all the time, back post. And that, that play is a perfect example of why.
I'll try to do that for my daughter's U6 team as well. They're still struggling with the concepts, I think. I don't know if back post would.
They might not be there yet.
Quick restart. Only the second foul. But here comes the vision again, playing it long. It's a foot race. Another opportunity. Ball rolls towards the net as Herzog came off his line. And this will go out for a division corner, their first of the match.
Yeah, and I'm watching Coach Bisk on the sideline. He's just sitting there telling his players, just settle down, composure, and play those balls a little bit better. He doesn't seem too worried about his back four, but division is getting too much pressure coming through there.
Correction, the players were pushing up thinking it would be a corner, and it wasn't. Just a goal kick for Bellmore JFK inside the final 2 minutes of this first half. Like the decision, right? Again, Lang, a field player, takes a settling touch, plays it out. As a goalkeeper, as an inexperienced goalkeeper, you want to play to your strength. That is your feet, but also you want to play the ball simple.
Yeah, I've been impressed with Lang this game.
And the guys in front of him have certainly had his back.
100%, absolutely. You want to be able to trust the other 10 guys on the field if you're a player out there, and I think Lang does that. He trusts those guys out there to hold him up and protect him.
But now a turnover, an opportunity. Good job just shielding off. And you can see Dan Kiro saying, go long, please. We're under pressure.
Not a bad punt for a guy who doesn't play keeper either.
Dan Kiros, 10, wins the header. Favorite band, the Deftones. These are Levittown, Barcelona. By the way, just passed his road test, so congratulations.
Make sure I stay off the sidewalk.
Yeah, we're not sure what his license plate is, but maybe just wait for us to get out of here first. Hope he doesn't drive like a bruising center back. Maybe one more opportunity here in the final minute for division to get maybe one more. 50-50 ball. That's won by Bellmore JFK. That was Serrata winning the ball in the midfield. Cruz Alejandro.
Yeah, and their heads are up. As soon as they get that ball, anytime they have a touch in that midfield, their heads are just up and down the field. And they're going to eat the rest of this clock here, I think. 4 seconds left. Yep, they're going to eat it. And we're heading into halftime.
And entertaining first 40. In many ways, it was the Chris O'Neill show. The brace in the first half for the visitors from Levittown Division who have come to Bellmore JFK. And with this goal, this is how you tie the score. There's the through ball you mentioned. And then Chris O'Neill does Chris O'Neill things. Clinical near post finish. 7th goal of the year. and it's 2-2 at halftime. Halftime stats, highlights, and more when we return right here on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
Thank you for watching Varsity Media, the leaders in New York high school sports coverage.
Varsity Media is now opening up our schedule to any teams looking to be on a sportscast. Watching yourself on camera is okay, but hearing your name on a Varsity Media sportscast is like you're a pro.
And look at this opportunity. Feldman behind. Jersey pulled. Feldman! Feldman!
Here comes the 1-0. Hit on the ground at first. Quinn's up with it. Feeds to Varela. It's a no-hitter. And Division's moving on. Nassau County AA champions.
As West barks out the signal. West is going to keep it himself inside the 5 to the goal line. Touchdown. Touchdown, Southside.
Varsity Media offers sportscast coverage for any sport, and our coverage airs live and on demand so everyone can watch the game. Now is the time to be a star on Varsity Media. Contact us to book a sportscast today at 516-403-2050 or email ben@varsitymedia.net. Are you a local business looking for new and creative ways to promote your company? Varsity Media offers affordable rates that can get your message across to a demographic of 18 to 54 years of age. Our follower base across social media is over 50,000 strong, and our viewership numbers per game are in the thousands. Don't blow your advertising budget on old staples like TV and radio media. Reach out to Varsity Media to get the best bang for your buck. For the latest news in high school sports, be sure to check out varsitymedia.net or follow us on social media at Varsity Media.
Hey parents, Varsity Media is now offering ISO video of just your athlete. Why settle for the wide angle that shows every player on the field? With our ISO video, your athlete is front and center the entire game. This footage will help in creating highlight videos for college coaches to better pinpoint your athlete's play on the field. Watching our video will help your athlete improve progressively throughout the season and may lead to a college scholarship. Varsity Media is now booking ISO videos for the fall, but spots are limited. Contact us today for football, soccer, field hockey, and volleyball by calling 516-403-2050 or emailing ben@varsitymedia.net.
And welcome back to Bellmore JFK High School halftime here, and it's Division and Bellmore JFK level at 2, entertaining. A lot of goals and opportunities in that first half, a lot of fun in that first half, and we of course want to thank our sponsor for this game, and we'll have an interview as well with Dr. Douglas Drobin. But when you're in pain, you need relief fast from people that you can trust. Drobin Chiropractic and Wellness has been helping people just like you find relief since 1980. Our experienced North Bellmore chiropractors have most likely seen your condition before, and they're determined to find the answers that you need. In addition to adjustment treatments, also include massage therapy, acupuncture, vitamin supplement use, and many more holistic options. Visit us at drobinchiropractic.com or call 516-379-8500 to make a consultation today. We welcome you inside our booth now here at Bellmore JFK. Dylan Butler alongside Dr. Douglas Drobin. And first of all, thanks for joining us. Certainly a great afternoon here going into the evening. It's the first day of October, beautiful weather. I'm sure you enjoyed seeing what you did there on the field for the first half.
Fantastic weather. The game was great, 2-2. Can't ask for a better game. It's anybody's game. You know, my kids went here. Two of my children graduated Kennedy.
Yeah, I was going to say, this is very much like you're in the community, you're embedded in the community, but being here at this school, this is personal for you. Grandkids, right? Your kids as well?
Yeah, sure. And Dr. Gary Morgenstern has a whole alumni program going with the school, so I'm part of that too. We're very interested in helping the children. As they get these bumps and jars, and soccer is certainly it's certainly a contact sport, even though they say it's not contact. But as the vertebrae go out of place in their spines, different things happen. Why not correct it today? It's like a car tire out of alignment. You don't want to wait 10 years from today to try and fix it.
And I feel like that's one of the things too with the spine and like people. I mean, it's core, right? Like it's such a it affects your whole body, and people like this is what like you guys do, right? I'm here. I do the broadcast. I do sports. This is you do back. So people go in and they're probably a little bit nervous about what they have to do, but you ease their worries.
Chiropractic really is a tune-up. So lots of things are going on. Anyone who has any kind of condition today, they bend over to pick up a paper clip and they can't move because their back hurts, or they have a gallbladder attack or whatever attack they may have. It didn't happen today. It occurred over the course of time, and then at this moment, it presents itself. So, I was part of the Life Sports Chiropractic with Life College down in Georgia. I was the chiropractor to the Goodwill Games. Dr. Joe is a TFW certified strength and conditioning coach. We have a lot of sports people that come in, a lot of children that play sports. It's so important for them to stay tuned up so they don't wind up with problems later on in life.
So as we mentioned before, but we can mention it again, if someone's feeling a little bit out of whack.
Well, that's of course when the body sends you a symptom. Most of the time people say, "Oh, just take a pill or take a potion or a lotion and do this or that," but it never actually gets to the core problem. So if you have a headache and you keep on having headaches, you keep on taking pills. I mean, when you're looking for a real option to actually experience health, I'm going to be 70 this year, and I can't really find anything wrong with me.
There you go. And the fact that you're here, this is your community. It's been this community for decades. That's super important too. I'm sure you're seeing a lot of the people from the same families year after year.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, we have totally family chiropractic, from babies, from newborns straight up. We just relieve the tension in the nervous system, and then the body knows what to do. It's like, you ate lunch, you don't have to tell your body how to digest it. It knows. You want to go running? You don't tell your body how to send energy to your muscles. It knows. Sure. And if you get a cut on your hand, or you get a cut here, it's a different skin cell. It's amazing. So you're growing about 18 billion cells every hour, and you have a whole new stomach lining every 5 days, new thyroid every 6 months, new heart every 3 months. Your body knows what to do. It's got a brain, and that has the information like the computer, and it comes down through the spine. And jars and jolts like this in all sports can misalign the vertebra. And then when that happens, the message gets distorted, and then what happens is ill health is the result, or less than optimum health.
Sure.
So we're offering optimum health and wellness.
Yeah, and that's Dr. Douglas Drobin. Thank you so much for joining us here at halftime, and thank you for supporting this game as well.
It's my pleasure.
We'll take a quick break, and we'll have the start of the second half when we return right here on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
Varsity Media is now opening up our schedule to any teams looking to be on a sportscast. Watching yourself on camera is okay, but hearing your name on a Varsity Media sportscast is like you're a pro.
And look at this opportunity. Feldman behind. Jersey pulled. Feldman! Feldman!
Here comes the 1-0. Hit on the ground at first. Wins up with it. Feeds to Varela. It's a no-hitter! And Division's moving on. Nassau County AA champions.
As West barks out the signal. West is going to keep it himself inside the 5 to the goal line. Touchdown! Touchdown, Southside.
Varsity Media offers sportscast coverage for any sport, and our coverage airs live and on demand so everyone can watch the game. Now is the time to be a star on Varsity Media. Contact us to book a sportscast today at 516-403-2050 or email ben@varsitymedia.net.
And welcome back to Bellmore JFK. The second half is just underway. 2-2, the score between Division and Bellmore JFK. Thanks again to Dr. Douglas Drobin for popping into the booth, and Dylan Butler, Brian Donahue here along with our entire Varsity Media crew. Highly entertaining Nassau AA3 clash. You're back all right?
My back, yeah, I'm fine. If you guys can't see in the booth, I am sitting here. I am ducking down. One of our windows is closed because of the sun.
Well, no, I wasn't thinking you had a back issue, but the doctor is still here. We can.
Oh, you know what? I have a knee issue. I have an ankle issue. I am getting too old.
He probably knows guys.
He probably does. I'm getting too old to be running around on the field with high school kids like I do in my practice every day. My body is breaking down.
All right, that's one of my favorite things. Like, I know a guy. Yeah, I'm sure he knows a guy.
He 100% knows a guy. And you know what? He really does a good job with everything that he does in his office.
And you can see how much his support means to this Bellmore JFK team as well. We saw every member, right, of the team before the start of this match come over, shake his hand, thank him for his support.
Really we're thankful for his support of Nassau Soccer. We couldn't do what we're doing here with you guys at Varsity Media without support of people in the community like him. So thank you so much for Dr. Drobin.
So 2-2, the score. A lot of scoring in the first 11 minutes, 3 of the 4 goals. Chris O'Neill for Division got things started in the 7th minute for Division. Charlie Sivan leveled for the Cougars, and then Patrick Himmel off a corner kick, first-time finish, made it 2-1 for Bellmore JFK, who had more of the possession, but then Chris O'Neill needed just a sliver of a chance to bury his second, and that's where we're at right now in the second 40 minutes here, tied at 2. Two teams really desperate to get the 3 points here this afternoon.
Yeah, and we're going to try and see what kind of transitions that these two coaches made here coming out in the second half. It looks like the Cougars have now dropped 3 into their back line to try and prevent these deep runs.
Offside on the play. We'll pop up as we have an opportunity now, the first half stats, Brian, and pretty even numbers, certainly, and obviously the score would dictate that.
Absolutely, and I'm not surprised that the Cougars have more shots on goal in division. They want to probably try and test this young, experienced keeper, and they're, all keeping a pretty clean game out here.
The sun was buried behind some clouds there. I thought we were done with it, and it's come back with a vengeance here for the start of the second half. As you can see on your screens, there's a good ball going towards the far post, just wide.
Yeah, I might have to talk to some of my friends in the area to get a little screen put up over here.
Well, I apologize because there's like an iron kind of fence here in front, and I had asked our producer Chris Sweeney to raise it, and that was my bad.
No, I'm talking about on the far side of the field, behind the bleachers. Give me like a 30-foot wall, block the sun. I think we can get that done in Bellmore.
I may talk to Dr. Drobin. Maybe he can make that happen.
They could put a big old banner on that wall.
Division looking to take the 3-2 lead. Bellmore JFK, they opened the season with a 6-0 loss to Garden City. They followed up with a 1-1 tie against Hewlett, a 1-0 loss as it's a corner now for Division. Chris Dominguez to take first corner of the match for the Dragons.
Their first of the game, if I'm
correct. Yes. Dominguez plays it far post, flicked there and out. And as we continue with the Bellmore schedule, we mentioned that 1-0 loss at Division, then a 3-0 loss to Manhasset, 4-2 win over Roslyn to this point. That win followed by the 4-1 win over Elmont. Those were the high watermarks of goals in a game for Bellmore JFK. And that was followed by a 6-0 loss to Southside, 5-0 to Garden City, and 2-0 for Hewlett. So they broke what was now a 3-game goalless streak in the first half. As we mentioned in the open, Bellmore JFK, certainly the younger of the two teams.
They don't look it.
That was Aaron Jacobs. He's a sophomore. You go up and down the roster. Herzog, sophomore. Franklin, sophomore. Ballack and Rojas has an opportunity now. Left-footed shot blocked well. A few nice touches. That blocked as well.
That was some great defense. It looked like Preston Torres, number 23, with those initial blocks there. Staying in front of the ball and just eating it. Great job out of him.
But the majority of this Bellmore JFK team, young. They start 3 seniors and a junior. The rest, there's 2 freshmen, and the rest are sophomores. So you kind of combine that youth, which with Ari Bisk's ability to mold quality players, and you could see Bellmore JFK, the future is very bright.
Absolutely,
bright
it
as
is.
The sun across the way.
You know, they really are a talented program, and they've been good for quite a while.
And again, to maybe use a chiropractic term, the realignment a little bit, right, that you guys did in Nassau County kind of did them no favors because, like you said, 3 big-time teams, right? Southside, Garden City, Manhasset. Makes it fun for guys like us.
Absolutely.
There's another opportunity now. Good block.
I'm sure when that realignment came down, though, some of those players were just questioning life.
What do we have here? We have a corner. So the third of this game. Bellmore JFK, they scored on their first with Patrick Himmel with the first time finish. They'll play this one short. That's Rojas. He's that skills guy, right? You want to see someone you want someone on maybe best skills. If you guys have that on your Instagram page, he's one of those candidates.
That's a nice move to cut back inside. And he make the extra pass. Listen to Ted Lasso. Make the extra pass. He had his man on the other side. Just slide that ball across, and I have a feeling that's a goal.
Desposorio there.
I'm still learning to watch the monitor and not the player so I can get these numbers there, Dylan.
That's all good. Pumping the brakes. Interception, though, by Dominguez in midfield. And this goes out of touch for a division throw. Ball headed out.
I wonder how much the Ryan Leary effect has had on Nassau County soccer. Kind of like the Steph Curry effect on basketball, where now everyone is deploying these super long throws.
Yeah, I mean, when you have the ability to throw the ball like Leary did, kind of get out, you angle it, you get a little spin on it, and it becomes like a corner.
It's a corner that has been giving me nightmares for 3 years.
Here's Quiros. Ball bounces right to O'Neal, who puts it over the bar. You could see there, too, right? Wants that one back.
Oh, yeah, he was feeling it there. He wanted that one really badly.
'50th minute, 2-2. As you see in the top left corner of your screen. Good look there at Gavin Herzog.
You know, O'Neal is doing a really good job of putting himself in a position to score. You know, and it's such a talent that you have to really work hard at to get yourself in the right position, put your body in the right position, get your hips set, get your body settled, and he is it's almost like a masterclass out here today.
And even just the angles, right, that he makes his runs at, and you know, no forward is just going to make a straight run and score goals. You have to angle those runs and time them well.
Yeah, it's also, it's having the intelligence of when to make those off-the-ball runs. And he is making 40-yard sprints. It takes a lot.
That was Matt Ramirez. He's the one who scored for Division in that first matchup back in Levittown early. That was his lone goal, and another corner because that one took a deflection. So it's the second corner for Division. Believe that is Dominguez to take it. Plays it short. Oh, you can see some trickery there.
He tried the dummy ball. Nobody on the end of it, though.
Now it's 1v2. Great defending.
Yeah, really good job. We always say the primary job of a defender is not to stop, it's to delay. For Dylan DuPonts, it's just to delay the run and let your rest of your defense get settled. Don't let him get set up. He did a really good job there.
And DuPont's another great story, right? He, most of the season, has played as the number 6 for Division, has been forced because of an injury, a broken ankle, by the regular starting back, Brian Cruz. That happened on Saturday against Elmont, so DuPont has had to step in and play left back.
Yeah, listen, like we said earlier in the broadcast, it's next man up.
Chris Sweeney I think he slammed his elbow on the chair. I don't know if that's something that Dr. Douglas Drobin handles or not, but it's not far from the back. Ooh, look out. Attempted clearance doesn't go anywhere, and you can see it's Division now playing with some confidence. They locate O'Neal. Here he comes again. O'Neal, 2 goals. Oh, a heavy first touch, which allows Herzog to handle. Good interception and a battle. That's Dominguez who comes away.
Yeah, he was in a nice little battle there with Aaron Jacobs for that ball. That sophomore is putting in a lot of work on the right-hand side of the field.
And there's Lang. Made 2 first-half saves. And honestly, if we didn't know coming in, he doesn't show a guy who's a field player playing in goal.
No, he's super composed back there. I am incredibly impressed.
Ball goes into the stands on the far side. You can see the glare as we thought we would see Cruz Alejandro in goal. And a last-minute change to Dylan Lang. Alejandro we saw in the first half playing in the field. There is Lang. That's a quality punt.
Now, I'll have to check back in with them later as the season goes on and whether or not Dylan Lang is going to want to continue doing this for the rest of the season and next year in a senior campaign.
Well, he certainly won the job for another day because, again, Shane Villaume not here, attending to an ill grandparent. So he'll miss the next contest as well for Division, which is versus Southside. So now you have the opposite, right? You go Southside, Garden City, as you see on your screen there, Manhasset, and at Hewlett, which again shows you why this game for Division as well is so critical, right? Here comes O'Neal. That's a good first touch. O'Neal with his left, and Herzog dives to his left to make the save.
And Joey Messina just checked into the game for Division. He is just not afraid to shoot the ball. We'll see if we can do some damage in the midfield here for them.
Herzog, and this one takes a bounce. Lang came off his line, had to pump the brakes. So listen, it's high school soccer, so you don't, sometimes it's hard to, you don't want to predict ahead, but obviously with that murderer's row for division coming up of the big three, if you will, in this conference, and that went out for a goal kick. You need to win this game today.
Yes. Yeah, you take them one game at a time. You can't really look ahead. It's just, and even in a game like this, you just play 15 minutes at a time.
A lot of these guys are Premier League fans. Interception, good block. Battle in the box, and it will go out for a corner. So in a lot of ways, your division has like Man City, Arsenal, maybe Tottenham, right?
Yeah.
And maybe you're like a Palace or somebody or a middle team just trying to get yourself into the postseason here.
Thank you for not bringing up Manchester United.
Listen, that's fine. Newcastle fan myself, but good ball sent across the box.
That was good service. Just couldn't finish.
And I like mixing things up right now for Bellmore JFK with their set pieces. We saw them go short before, and then we just saw Caleb Rojas with a quality service across the box.
And we have this is the first deep throw-in we have here for JFK. Let's see what they can cook up. Down here, looks like he's inside the 18.
To the edge of the 18, and that one is saved. We'll take a look at the upcoming schedule for Bellmore JFK. Non-leaguer against Bellport, at Manhasset, at Roslyn, Elmont, and Southside. So of the two, maybe a slightly more forgiving schedule, as there's two guys jockeying for the ball.
Absolutely. I would expect that Roslyn and the Elmont game to be incredibly competitive for this Bellmore team.
So a set-piece opportunity. It's Desposario over it. From this distance, will he have a go?
All right, Chris Dominguez looks like he's about to make a back post run.
Four-man wall set up for Bellmore JFK.
Chris O'Neill is checking into the...
There is the service, headed initially. Turnaround shot, takes a deflection in the box. And a foul. That's a great call. Foul is called against Division, as it looked like that was Dominguez just getting a little bit of a shoulder. It was picked up by our officials again. Quality crew here. Pat Schenk and Lenny DiGregorio.
Yeah, and Mr. Schenk is a past president of the Officials Association. He is one of the best officials in our county. And if I recall correctly, not to put his business on the street, but quite the soccer player back in his day.
All right.
A little miscommunication in the back here.
And it results in a Bellmore JFK throw. How much longer for Ten Hag?
One more game. Matter of fact, you mentioned Newcastle. I'm going to see United and Newcastle right after Christmas, and I don't expect Ten Hag to be there for that game.
I assume at Old Trafford, right?
Yes, sir.
All right. I went to a match at St. James at Newcastle. What an experience.
I'm super excited. If anybody at home has any gift requests, please DM Dylan Butler, and he will send money to me later.
Venmo.
Now, this is a kind of thing where I'm looking for somebody to kind of break out here, because we're in this little bit of a lull here, right? It's a little bit of a back and forth in the midfield, not a whole lot going on. There's not a whole lot of real quality chances. It's like that mid-end game lull here. I'm looking for somebody to try and break out.
Yeah, just at the hour mark now. Still 2-2. Well, clipped into the box and into the capable arms of Dylan Lang.
Yeah, and Lang did a good job to maintain his composure when he had, it looked like Aaron Jacobs was just running right onto him there. Good job just keeping his head down, focused on the ball.
Ball cleared out by James Peterson. We'll have a Bellmore JFK throw. This one very much in the balance. As the Cougars make a sub. Chested down. The initial attempted clearance wasn't there, and then again, just safety first. Get it down towards midfield. Ball put back in from the opposite side.
That's a great look to find. I can't see the number. That looked like number 6, Caleb Rojas in the middle of the field. Great look there.
Now our apologies to Bellmore JFK. Just as you probably can tell on your screen, their numbers significantly more difficult to pick out than the blue on the white on the division kits.
Yeah, the gray on the gray and the sun in her eyes, boys. I apologize to you Cougars.
We are trying our best. O'Neal trying his best to perhaps get a hat trick this afternoon. Handball calls against Bellmore JFK. Free kick for division. The Dragons make their way from Levittown with a 3-6-0 record. And that's not an up and down. That's like a straight up 3 wins and then straight down 6 losses.
Yeah, those like rides up and down those hills are just so hard to just.
Great head, and then Herzog's got to come off his line, bobbled momentarily, and then he picked the ball up. He'll quickly restart as Bellmore JFK trying to take a page out of the division book and hit the Dragons on a quick counter. Outside of the foot, great ball, far sideline.
So now this is where they have to work on improving the quality of these balls. The balls are getting a little sloppy. They're getting a little bit of a wave from them.
Intercepted. And that's what you do, right? As soon as you can, you locate Chris O'Neal. Let him get some magic going. Look at the speed. Listen, that goes out of touch, but how about Chris Desposorio getting on his horse there?
Yeah, I mean, we talked about those two pregame. I mean, those two are such class for this Blue Dragons team. And that's what you do. You find your playmaker in the middle of the field. Let him make a play.
Here's Alex Friedman, 15, the right back. Got his first varsity goal against Elmont. He's got to feel good as a senior. And now the Cougars looking for a third and perhaps the winner. Charlie Sivan just passed the ball. He's got a goal in the first half. That cross blocked well, but it will go out for a Bellmore JFK corner. That was James Peterson, senior center back, doing so. So now the question, right, for the Cougars, do they play it short? Do they play it long?
Well, it looks like they have a big wide net set up. Nobody's coming in unless they're going to crash here. Gerardo Solorzano with the decision here. I'll see what he puts in the middle of the box.
Good ball. Two players going for the same ball. Left-footed shot blocked. And that's the thing. Almost, like I'm a big hockey fan, Brian. Like it's very hockey-esque, right? Blocking shots in front of your inexperienced keeper as well. Division guys selling out. Clipped. Himmel, a settling touch. Plays it to his right.
Right now, just play to the corners.
1-2. Went route one. And goes out for a Bellmore JFK throw in front of their own bench. Again, we're not keeping possession numbers, but probably in what, the 60% or so, right? For Bellmore JFK, but that tells you how skewed soccer stats are, right? Because you can go, like the soccer nerds out there will talk about XG and all these other kind of things, and it means nothing in this sport. An advantage like that, it's all about how clinical you can be with your chances.
Yeah, and if, it was an interesting little thing on the end of that play there. We had the Chris O'Neill and Chris Desposorio. They were wide open in the middle of the field, and they had a good 5 yards on the JFK center backs. Even look at him right now. Chris O'Neill has got, I know the camera can't see it, but he's got 5 yards on the center back.
And on that side, even though he was behind at that moment, at least behind the last defender, he's on this side of midfield. So you could be behind that last center back. If you're on the same side of the field, you're onside.
Yeah, we're sitting here looking at, approaching 12 minutes left in this game. You got to do everything you can to tighten up that back line of the defense. You don't want to let up something cheap here at the end.
And really neither a draw does nothing for either team in this one.
No, at this point in the season when you're crawling and scratching for that last playoff spot, you can't accept anything less than 3 points on the field right now.
I want to thank again today's sponsor, Drobin Chiropractic and Wellness. When you're in pain, you need relief fast from people that you can trust. They've been in the business since 1980. Our experienced North Bellmore chiropractors have most likely seen your condition before, and they're determined to find the answers that you need. In addition to adjustment treatments, also include massage therapy, acupuncture, vitamin supplement use, and many more holistic options. Visit us at DrobinChiropractic.com or call 516-379-8500 to make a consultation today. Unable to get a cross off, so it'll be a goal kick for division.
And on top of all this, Hewlett is right now playing Southside. And, you got to figure the way Southside's been playing, if Hewlett can't dig down and pull out that win, this is a golden opportunity for one of these two teams to pick up some ground on Hewlett.
Do you have an out-of-town score or no?
I don't. I'm going to check right now to see if I can let you know.
All right. And, Brian, when we have an opportunity, and this is such a cool part of the game when we can do it with like 10 minutes left, we'll take a look at our keys for both coaches and kind of see, right, who has done what. Like you could almost do the check marks, and we'll pop them up now. What do you think?
So I think for JFK, right, they are not really staying too compact defensively, especially in the back half. Middle of the field, they're absolutely controlling that, especially staying compact there. They have to finish what they're finishing. They need to improve the quality. Division, they're not getting a whole lot of set pieces to capitalize on. They are definitely taking advantage of their opportunities, right? They're getting a lot of really good runs, especially breaking down this back line, and their transitions are great. So I would say they're probably, half and half with their keys of the game here.
That's a quality shot, but Lang gets up, grabs it. And you can see he puts his arm out like, hey, let's calm down, boys. Punts it out towards midfield.
I love that leadership from Lang back there right now, just controlling that team. It's like he's got 5 years of experience between the pipes.
He has 70 minutes. Miscommunication there for Division. And, yeah, Dylan Lang Jr. plays for the Levittown Warriors. Favorite team, Valencia in La Liga.
Yeah, you can see some frustration creeping onto some faces out there. You know, when they're missing opportunities this late in the game and they know they're misplacing some balls, I think the frustration's creeping in, but they just have to just take a breath and compose themselves and just wait for the next play. It's all about the next ball.
And that's the hardest thing, I think, especially for really soccer players at any level. I was going to say high school players, but you see it in the pros on the weekends. Like, you're chasing a result. You need to get 3 points, but it's hard to not get frustrated. It's hard to just kind of keep doing what you're doing. And there's a good ball that Herzog picks off.
Right, because you know you can do it. Right, you do it on the practice field all the time. You know you should be able to. And when you misplace a ball, especially in a critical situation, you just beat yourself up over it.
Desposario. Advantage played. Comes this side. Edge of the 18. That ball knocked away. Himmel clears it. Has a great advantage call, and there's a trip in the midfield. And Division will have a free kick.
But like my man Ted Lasso says, be a goldfish.
I have that mug.
Greatest coach in Premier League history, Ted Lasso.
You see that foul on the midfield? Some frustration.
Yeah, see, it's interesting seeing the quality difference between the double A's and my conference AB3 and the B's. If we were in the B's, he would have just run right through them and just leveled them. It was nice of him to pull up here.
Pumping the brakes.
Great run from Rojas.
And a really good ball into the box. A shoulder challenge. Goes out for a corner. I guess if this was Premier League or something, you'd see that player go down and try to win a corner, win a penalty. Instead, they win a corner.
If that was Neymar, this game would have been delayed for about a half an hour.
No,
that was a great ball being played across. Nice control with the right foot. You know, and that was really, really good defense. I'm impressed with that defense from number 11.
Here's the corner, whipped in. Cleared at the near post. But you've got to be so fine with that shoulder challenge. A little bit too much or from behind a little bit, PK.
Yeah, it's so risky.
Here's Himmel, and this is what you mentioned before, right? Maybe stepping up a little bit, knowing that his team needs an extra goal. A midfielder by trait.
Yeah, now he has to be careful. If he drifts up too high, you're only leaving one man back in the middle of the field. And the way Division has been making these runs in, like this one.
O'Neal in the box gets a touch. They allow him to turn. Served, and that shot wide. You could see that play by O'Neal from 40 yards out.
Yeah, he's got great vision. You know, he was. Here, we're going to see this play again here.
Watch at the bottom there. There's O'Neal. There you see him coming into your frame. And there as well, he's able to turn.
Yeah, and I love how he used his body to shield those two defenders and just get in front of that ball, slot it across to Desposario.
75th minute now, still 2-2. When you consider the standings, a point, again, doesn't do either team any good. You're trying to, if you can't get to 500, you're trying to become one of the four teams or the fourth team in your division behind Garden City, Manhasset, Southside, and at whatever order they're going to be to get into the postseason.
Yeah, and my guess is whoever is the fourth team in this conference is looking at a play-in game either way with anyone who's over 500 who's sneaking in here. It's all going to depend on the seeding committee.
Can either get the full allotment of points this afternoon?
I'm feeling a late one.
All right. Here's Peterson. Here is O'Neal. Chris O'Neal, a little step over. O'Neal, sliding challenge.
And we're going to have another corner. And he had runners, right? He had a man at X. Right? That's what Syasa called it, X, top of the box. It looks like he had Desposorio at the top of the box. We're going to check here on the replay, see if we have it, the wide angle.
Watch Alex Friedman here, 15. You have to time your challenge perfectly.
That was a great challenge.
So corner from this near corner for division. Played far post. And that ball headed wide of Herzog's goal. Another look.
All right, now we have this wide angle, right? And you see Desposorio sitting right at the top of the box right there. But O'Neal can't get to the ball either to play neutral or to play negative or to play across to the top.
He's the left back, right? Dylan DuPont's making a run. And here's an opportunity for Bellmore JFK. Lang off his line. And that late winner that Nostradamus next to me nearly predicted was so close to happening.
And that's another one of these balls here where just make that extra pass, slide it over to the left, and that's a finish, and that's a game winner.
'78th minute. Late drama on this first day of October. And Peterson fires it well over.
Yeah, and now what you have to do is you have to put on your AP soccer curriculum,
okay,
right? You don't want to be taking too audacious of a shot like that, because what you're going to do is now you kill the clock.
Let's look at the standings as they were coming into today.
Right, so let's say Hewlett loses, Division wins. They're, in a virtual tie with Hewlett. I mean, they'd be a point behind.
And if you want to call it like decision day, they play in the final day of the regular season.
It'll all come down to that one. Right, but like I was saying, you want to be smart with these balls. You take a 20-yard banger and you're flying it past, you're wasting 30 seconds on the restart.
Are you going to have synchronized start times on that final day of the regular season?
I think we might, actually. We might. Commissioner Friedman, Al Freeman, does a really good job putting the schedule together so we can all take care of business.
That way nobody has an advantage.
Exactly.
And neither team here in the second half has had an advantage. We came into the second 40 minutes tied at 2, and that's where we are now, entering the final minute of this one. No overtime to be played. Will there, as Brian said, be a late winner? Is there a hero out among these 22 players? O'Neal unable to track down that ball.
Yeah, he couldn't either. Referee Schenk had his whistle ready to blow offsides on that one. There was no way he was going to touch it.
The last chance saloon here. 17 seconds. That ball sent high. Himmel's got to be between decisions. Look at this. Ball takes a bounce. It's chipped. Herzog's got to get his hands on it. And that will
and he's going to eat it.
Be the final opportunity in this one. And the two teams neither were happy after the first matchup, which went to Division 1-0, and neither will be happy with this one either, which ends 2-2.
No, I think there's going to be, and you see some people that are throwing some shin guards there. I think there's going to be some guys that are going to be unhappy in film room tomorrow watching some missed opportunities and some missed chances in this game.
There were some really good goals, all of them happening, though, in the first half. It started way back in the 7th minute with Chris O'Neill scoring his first. And that gave Division the 1-0 lead, and that's how they won in the opener with an early goal. Then Charlie Sivan leveled in the 9th minute. Patrick Himmel gave the hosts a 2-1 lead in the 11th minute. And then 33rd minute, Chris O'Neill gets his second. So 2-2, and we're figuring we got a wild second half ahead. Neither team, though, unfortunately, able to find the back of the net, and we end this one tied at 2.
You know, and you have to give all the credit in the world to this Division team, you know, to lay down a metaphor. They were put together with duct tape and spit today. A lot of guys playing out of position, third string, fourth string keeper almost in the net, never played there before, and they held off this Bellmore JFK team. And, you know, you got to give credit, all the credit in the world to Lang and to Chris O'Neill up top.
We also have to give a lot of credit to today's sponsor. Again, when you're in pain and you need relief fast, from people that you can trust, Drobin Chiropractic and Wellness has been helping people just like you find relief since 1980. Our experienced North Bellmore chiropractors have most likely seen your condition before, and they're determined to find the answer that you need. In addition to adjustment treatments, also include massage therapy, acupuncture, vitamin supplement use, and many more holistic options. Visit us at drobinchiropractic.com or call 516-379-8500 to make a consultation today. And again, thanks so much for Dr. Douglas Drobin for popping in with us at halftime as well. Just a pillar of this community here in North Bellmore. So, final thoughts, Brian?
You know what? I think this is a great game, and I think both of these teams have some things that they can take away from this game. I think, unfortunately, if we look at the standings, this might have closed the door on the Cougars' season, but they did a lot of good things that they can take away from this and a lot of good things they can build on to work on for the rest of the season. For Division, I'm going to take this game. I'm going to say, listen, we made some great runs in behind. We played really well, and we held this down together. This is a great – you hate to say it's a moral victory, but let's move on and try and get the 3 in our next game and just keep building and building and building.
So that'll do it here for us from Bellmore JFK High School, for our entire varsity media crew, for our executive producer, Ben Turchin, for our technical director, Chris Sweeney, for David Gavilan and Tony DeMasso, bringing you all those moving images from our broadcast partner, Brian Donahue. Dylan Butler, thanking you for joining us from Bellmore JFK. We look forward to seeing you next time on the Varsity Media Sports Network.